So so far we are done with the configuration. So as a result of the configuration, so we worked on different kind of rules, and as a result of the configuration we have some resultant products, so which is having a part related information, what is the part, and some other details regarding the part, like what is quantity, what is its price, if they are like any hierarchies information, anything like in the comments or something like that. We have some information related to one or multiple parts as a result of the configuration. So now we need to move that information to the next module, nothing but the commerce. So the commerce, like as we said, configuration, so everything is built on the base of product family, right? So now when we are talking about commerce, so everything is based, like built on the base of a process. We call it as a process, the thing. So that is the base of the whole commerce module. So so similarly, like how we created like product family in the configuration, so we need to create a process in the commerce module also. So how we create that process is, so in the administration page, so in the first section, like commerce and documents, so we have process definition, the first link. I'm opening it. So here we can see the list of processes like so far already created. So let's click add. I'm just giving some junk name. For now you can ignore all this. So I'm just entered the name and variable name. I'm just adding it. Yeah, I added. So now one process got created, and like when I said, so as we said, like as we discussed earlier, so any change we do in the site, so like most of the things will be need to be deployed. So if we make any changes, so as we are done, as we just created the process, so in the process dropdown we'll be having a deployment center, like similar to other areas. So we can open it and we can deploy it here. So here the event type is deploy by default, so we just need to click add event to deploy it. So we can similarly, we can see the refresh, we can check click the refresh to see the status whether it's deployed or not. And so like once we create the process, so like here also there is some categories inside it, what the process may contain. So like we created a product family, so there it has like sub hierarchies, like it is having product lines, it is having models, like that. So now when we create a process, so it contains a documents as a sub hierarchy, subcategory. So once we click this documents here for your process whatever you create, so you can click add here. So when we create a process, there is a sub hierarchy, there will be a sub hierarchy of documents. So we can create the documents, and out of these documents there will be two types. So one is main document and one is sub document. So the creation of either of the documents is same. So we can give some name, we can give some variable name, and we just need to select if it's a main or sub document. Similarly, if you're going to create a sub document, you just need to check this radio button, that's it. So everything is same. So I'm just giving this variable name automatically came up. You can ignore this for now. I'm just updating it. Yeah. So we are done with the main document, and now I'm clicking it add. So now I'm creating a sub document. I'm just adding it. Yeah. So right now we can see two things. So one is main document, one is a sub document. And so when we call it as a main and sub documents, so we should say there should be some relation between those two things. So once we create these things, so we can open this main document, and now you can see one more field for the main document, like this is main document, and you can select your sub document. Just updating it. So not only this, like you can create different sub documents, so you can choose whatever the sub document should be linked to your main document. So as I selected this open this main document and selected the sub document what I just created. So now it's, you can see the UI difference, like it got linked to it. So earlier main documents are different, sub documents are different, but now you can see that is linked to the respective main document which we selected. So like we created like a process which is the base of the commerce. So and in process there will be a subcategory like documents. So in that main document and sub document will be there. So main document and sub document, what they are. So if we see, and uh, in the configuration, so whatever the screen we see, so we call it as a configuration flow or UI, you can say a config UI. So whatever the screen you see, you're calling it as a configuration flow. But in commerce, so whatever the like wherever whatever the screen you see in commerce section, so that can be called as a transaction or quote. It's not a quotation, it's just quote or transaction. So whatever the screen we see, so there will be some UI, right, to see to show something. So there will be some UI, so that screen will call it as a transaction or quote. And this sub document and mail documents are parts of that screen. So whatever the whole screen we see can be called as a main document. Whatever the transaction we see, whatever the screen we see, the whole thing can be called as a main document. And where the subdocument will be there is, so as a result of configuration, we'll be having some products related information, right, either one part or multiple parts, like with single information or with multiple information in the comment or something like that. So whatever that parts related information is there, so that information can be shown in this subdocument. Whatever the screen we see in the commerce, you can call it as a transaction or quote. So the whole screen can be treated as the main document. So out of the whole screen, a part of the screen can be treated as subdocument, which contains whatever the information we pull from the configuration. As a configuration result, we'll be having some parts and its related information, right? That information we can pull and show it in the subdocument. Uh, I don't find any processes here to show you existing things. Let's open something. Yeah, I just opened some configuration. Okay, some product family, some model. So I just opened it. So and I'm clicking the buttons here. So you can see the buttons here, right? So we have we used in configuration update button. So to make any changes, we can click this update button. uh, like if you don't apply any ajax kind of thing like auto update or something like that, so if the change needs to happen, so you need to click update here, so that only we know. So out of other than update, so there is one more button you can see, which is nothing but start over. So this is nothing but, so when you like configure something, as we discussed earlier, right? So we'll be having multiple flows. So in a single configuration, so we'll enter the things in the first flow, we'll enter the things in the second page, third page, like that. So like you may in the some other page, some other flow, or in the middle of the flow. So if you want to like cancel everything, and if you want to start everything from the fresh, so if you click your start over, so it will move back to your main model or home page. So then you can it will allow you to select so whatever the product family or model or line so you want to select, and then you can go ahead like that. So if you are in the middle of something in the configuration, so if you click start over, it will take you to the home page at the beginning. So that's the use of start over. And update we already know. And the things we which we can see other than these two ways, so these are all process invocation actions. So let's keep that for now. So and we have one more button here, which is nothing but pipeline viewer. So this button is nothing but, so when we click it, we can see like whatever the attributes are there in this UI. So what are the values of those attributes? Like if user entered some value to some attribute, we can see that. If some rule set some 10 or 20 to some value to some particular attribute, so whatever the things, the changes are there for particular attributes, we can see them. And whatever the rules run, so you may write configuration rule, sorry, constraint rules, recommendation rules, or some other like that, hiding rules and everything like that. So whatever the rules are there, so we can see the list. So I'm just clicking it, pipeline viewer. I'm not sure whether someone had anything on this UI or not. Yeah, we can see. So you can see the tabs here. So first tab is showing attributes. So you can see the list of attributes on this UI. So on the current screen, so these are the list of attributes and their values. So if they're having some value, it is showing this values also, we can see. And if you click the rules tab here, so these are all the current rules which are active on this UI. So we might be writing recommendation rules or constraint rules or hiding rules. So whatever the rules are running as per the current scenario or the current UI. So whatever it's running currently, so there they can be seen. We can see them here in this tab. This is nothing but the XML, the source of the UI screen. So which attribute, what are all the attributes are there, what are the values. So everything will be there in this XML format. The whole summary of the screen, whatever the screen, whatever the UI we are seeing right now. So it's a summary of that screen in XML code, XML script. So that is the use of pipeline viewer. So this will be helpful when like in project we'll be writing different like a lot of rules and a lot of attributes will be there on the layout. So you may like wrote some recommendation rule. So for some attribute, for example, here there is a year built attribute, right? So for this, you selected a recommendation rule, you applied a recommendation rule, and it is setting some 1,000 or something like that. So 2,000 or something like that. So some value. So but it is not populating here. So what you will do? So we need to go back to the recommendation rule. So we need to check. We need to give a test input. So we need to check in the debugger whether it's working or not. So instead of that, a step to decrease some difficulty for that. So instead of that, we can click this pipeline viewer and we can select this rules tab, and we can see whether that particular rule what we wrote is there in this list or not. So if it's not there in the list, we created a rule, but it's not running for this UI. So then we need to check why it's not running. So the reasons will be like the rule. There are different reasons for a rule not to work, because whatever the rule you created, so it might be inactive. So we can see in the rule page. So we can see some status at the top in the like some introduction part of the rule section, first section. So you can see whether it is active or inactive like that. So if it's inactive, it won't run. Even if the rule is created, it won't run. And another like one more chance is the condition part. So you created the rule, it's not always true. It will run only for example, you can tree if the user is only Karthik, so then only it should run. So if your condition is like that, so it won't run because Prudhi got logged in here, if in case. So like that, so there will be different reasons for a rule not to work. So we need to check those reasons. or instead of if you see about attributes, instead of navigating all the flows, like we may have 5 or 10 flows in a single configuration, so we can't navigate to every flow and we can see the what attribute is having which value. So to check that, we can simply search test attribute like this. So everything will be there in the same page, right? So I can simply search that attribute and I can see respective value, whether that value is there or not, it's populating or not, like that. So that's the use of pipeline viewer. And coming to these three things, so the main things what we need now is these actions will be called as process invocation actions. So why they are called as process invocation actions? So the general thing what we need now is we are done with the configuration. So we need to move to the next module, commerce, with whatever the information we have as a resultant of the configuration, nothing but the parts related information.
Karthik, one question.
Yeah.
This pipeline viewer
Okay.
is by default there, or we have to configure it in our instance?
No. It will be there by default.
Okay. In every
Yeah.
instance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it's not there, like if we don't, it will be there by default. If we don't want, so like in future, like we'll be seeing we'll be come across CSS and JavaScript, right? So we can
Mm-hmm.
hide them. We can hide it if we don't need.
Okay.
So why we
Default it
may
is.
not? So whatever the screen we are seeing, so we are the developers, right? So
Yeah.
to debug it, we need it. But when we give it to the sales user, so he don't need pipeline viewer because he is not aware of the logic or technicalities behind this screen.
Right.
He will just enter some value and he will just see some error. He will change that value and he will update it. That's it. So in case like there will be such scenarios, like there will be such hierarchy of users which we may not know, which we may not show this pipeline viewer. So like that, with the help of CSS or JavaScript, we can hide it.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I'm just clicking this process invocation action. I'm not sure whether they linked it to something or not. I'm just clicking create transaction now. Okay, there is some errors in this configuration. Let me try some other process invocation action. Looks like it is navigating. Yeah. So now we came to the commerce module by clicking that process invocation action. The use of process invocation action is we are in the configuration, so we need to move to the next module, nothing but the commerce. So something should be there to link our configuration module and the commerce module. So with the help of process invocation action, we can define so which is the configuration it needs to consider, nothing but which product family it should consider, and when we click that action, so which commerce module it should go. So in the commerce we talk the everything is based of process, right? So which process it should link. So similarly, we have multiple product families. There is a possibility of having multiple product families. So in the commerce module also there is a possibility of having multiple processes. So this process invocation action will help us to to decide or make it work like this particular product family. When I click this action, it should link to the respective process. So that in that process we will be building our required as per our requirements, we'll build the commerce module. So what are the fields should be there on the UI, so what is the logic behind the pricing or everything. So like that, everything will be there in our respective process. So how to create this process invocation action, how to create this so you can see the screen, right? So whatever the screen you are seeing now right now, so we call it as a transaction or quote. The whole screen we call it as a transaction or quote. This is not a quotation, this is quote or transaction. So whatever the whole screen can be treated as main document, you can say. And I said sub document also, right? I'm not sure they have sub document or not. Yeah. So you can see here line item details, and you can see some table kind of structure here. So this is our sub document. So you can see some table here, right? Part, some price, some quantity, etc. So we can customize it like basing on the requirement. but this is the basic table. So we can see right now. So whatever the we have some information from the configuration, that is nothing but a part and parts related information. So that will be populated here when we come to the commerce from configuration. If we have any recommended items as a result of the configuration, so nothing but our products in the configuration. So when we come to the transaction, nothing but commerce. So in our transaction page, in the sub document section, so that will be populated, so that we can find in the sub document nothing but this table. So this is called a sub document. So let's see like where it will be there and how to create them. So yeah, so we created a process and we created its subcategories, nothing but the documents, main document and sub document. And so you can see there are attributes here. So as we said, main document and sub document, this is nothing but the UI. The whole screen can be treated as main document and a part of it is sub document. So when we talk about UI, so there should be there some content should be there on the screen. So that is nothing but different fields what we require. So those are nothing but attributes. So here also in commerce, so we can create attributes here, either in the main document or in the sub document we can create attributes. So nothing but, so if you keep everything like throughout the screen, so you need to be created it as a main document attribute. If you want it to be shown only for the parts related information, so this is the section. If we create anything attributes, so it will reflect in this section. If we create any rules or anything, so there will be different things related to for both main document and sub document. So whatever we write in respect to like hierarchy, like nothing but respect to document, so it will reflect there. So we have attributes. So you can click attributes and you can see if anything is there, so it will be there by default. If not, we can create attributes. It will be similar to configuration only. And unlike configuration, we have something called actions here, and we have library functions here. And rules, we already came across rules, but it will be there, like some change will be there here. And layout, so we already like similar to configuration only, it will be there. So here we can see like there are two layouts here. So one is legacy and one is jet layout. So jet layout is nothing but we talked about that ajax concept, right? So jet responsive layout will be having that facility, like whatever if there are any changes happen to any single attribute, the respective things will be updated automatically. If it's legacy layout, that won't happen. So we need to check either in the settings, like options, like it should be auto update, it should be auto triggered, like that. So we need to select the such options. And right now there is one more layout called mobile layout. So whatever the screen we are seeing, so we are seeing in the web browser, right? So similarly we can create a layout which will be like mobile UI friendly, mobile screen friendly. So that when we need that, so we need to go for this mobile layout. So similarly, when I click the drop down of sub document, you can see attributes, actions, rules, layouts, etc. So I'm not going to attributes, so you can see by yourselves. So you can try creating them and adding on your layout like that. So let's first go with the layout. So like to create attributes and rules, so everything, so we need for one UI, right? So that's why let's select the layout. For now I'm selecting legacy layout. I'm just opening it. So you can see the similar screen when we did for configuration. So you need to click add. So here you can select attributes, or third one is layout elements. So these two are we are already familiar. So similar to configuration, but here you can see one more thing is actions. So this we can't find in the configuration. So I'm clicking actions here. So whatever the actions we create, so in this commerce module, so we can type the names and we can find them if we created any, and we can simply select from the drop down, and we can drag and paste, drag and drop here. So similar to attributes how we do, or layout elements how we do, we can select the action and we can drag and drop here. So that's the only change here. And yeah, one more thing is, whatever the action, so let's clear this thing. So I created my filter, so cleared my filter, so I can see 3 actions here. I'm not sure like who created them. So we can drop our attributes in the respective containers, and we can drop our respective like layout elements, nothing but our containers, so wherever it is possible. But if we want to drop an action on the UI, so there is one need of one special container, nothing but action strip. So you can see action strip here, the green color bar. So this is nothing but the action strip. So whenever you want to drop an action, so you can only drop the action in the action strip. So if the action strip is not there, you can't drop your action. I'm selecting the action. So you can see the red mark all the way and everywhere, like you can see you can't drop it anywhere. So now I'm taking it to like action script. So now that red mark is gone and it is showing the green tick as well. So here we can drop it like this. So if you want this action strip to be like not should it should be it shouldn't be in the top, it should be in your some other tab or some other section. So you can click add here from the layout elements. You should be having an option to add that also. So earlier it was action strip, so I guess it should be a toolbar. So let me check. Yeah, so in the earlier versions if you are working on, so you can see it as an option called action strip. So now it is called as a toolbar. So you can drop it in your respective layout position, and if you want you can add your action in the respective position like this. And one more thing is, you can access your like you can add your multiple actions, like the same action in multiple places. It should be possible. Let me check. Yeah, you can see here the change currency thing is there, and you can see the change currency here as well. So there will be requirements like for a user to perform like same action in like multiple places. So instead of navigating through the whole transaction or code, so to avoid that, there is a facility like which we can add the same action like in the multiple places of UI. So wherever the place it can be, so whenever we click it, the action will be the same like that. So like similarly, so once you can see the star mark here, if we make any changes, this will come up. So we can simply save it and we can deploy it. Deploy at our respective process. So this is linked to process, right? So whatever the rule you create here, whatever the attribute you create here, whatever the changes you do in commerce, so you should deploy your respective process what you created. So once you create your process, so you need to link. So you have now process, and you have your your product family as well. So you have your configuration module and process commerce module. So now you need to link it. So that linking can be possible with the help of process invocation actions. So that will be there on this administration page. Admin, go to admin page. So in the first section itself, you can see the second link, process invocation action. Just open it. In that there will be a list of things. So these are all nothing but different types of different categories of pages in our tool. So you need to select model configuration. So now we can see whatever the process invocation actions are existing, and we can create a new process invocation action as well. If you see the list, so this is all we saw in the like we opened some configuration flow right just now. So we saw the 3 process invocation actions. You can see them. So this is the list. So these process invocation actions are linked to that whatever the like process we just opened. product family we just opened, so it is linked to them. So now we can create click simply add button, and we can create a new action. New action is nothing but our new process invocation action. So you need to enter your name, and it should be the start process action, and you need to simply click add here. So once it is done, so you can see that action in this list. So once you are done with this process invocation action creation, so you can see the two options here in the drop down. So there will be two options. So one is rules and one is user access rights. User access rights is nothing but you are giving permissions like who can see this process invocation action. So I'm leaving the option as user access right, and I'm clicking list. I'm just clicking list for the user access rights option. So you can see different types of users. So right now, so whatever the user we have, so if you go and see our profile of the user, so there will be like categories of users, whether he is having full access or sales user or external user, internal user, like that. There will be like different types of categories. So here we can see like almost all categories they selected it, so they gave access rights. So that's why we are able to see that action and we are able to click it. So if you want, you can select any of the category. You can click this button, so it will get removed. If you want anything, so you can select this and you can click this button, it will add here. You just need to update. So that's how you will give access to the different categories. If you have whatever the categories you are existing, like user categories existing in your tool. If you see the next option, the rules, I just selected the rules option and I'm clicking on the list. So I can see like different kinds of rules here. So let's click add here. So to create a new rule. Okay. So we have an action. So what that action should do? So we have two options after creating a process invocation action. We have user access rights and we have roles. So in the user access rights, we can decide who all can see that action. So similarly, we saw that action in some product family, right? So like that, we can decide whether someone can see that action or not. So here, if you think about the second thing, so the rule, you can give some name here, text rule, and you can see the list of processes here. So you are linking, like you can see this process invocation action, right? In the configuration, you can see. So you can decide who all can can see that process invocation action. This process invocation action, what you create, will be available for all the product families. But you can restrict the scope of process invocation action by giving access to like access rights. Like for example, if you created one product family, so which only Prithvi can see. So that product family is only accessible to Prithvi. So similarly, whatever the process invocation action he create, he will give access only it should be seen by Prithvi or it should be seen by Rajesh, like that. So basing on that, it will be there because we can't link it to a particular product family. So it will be shown for everyone. So we should make sure the access rights should be present on particular user who can access particular product family. So that's how it will be linked to your process family, sorry, product family. But to tell it, you should go to the respective process. We need to define it so that we can do here. So here you can see the list of all the processes available in the system. So you can select whatever the process you want. So I create a test process, right? So like that, we can select whatever the process in it. So we can't see it, that process, what we just created because we didn't deploy it, if you observe. So that's why we can't see it. So like we can select whatever the process we need and we can click add here. So then then your process invocation rule will be like shown in the list. That's it. So once you create it, you should go back and you need to deploy it. Here you can see whatever the process invocation action link you clicked on the admin page. So I'm keeping this tab like this and just selecting other tab. So this is the admin page, right? So this is the second link you are clicking process invocation action. So when you click this link, you will be navigated to this page. In this, you selected model configuration and you did everything related to your process invocation action. But the deployment here is there in this section only. You can see this deploy button in this page. So whatever the like page you want to, category of page you want to, you did modifications, you need to select that page and click deploy here. That's it. So this deployment is related to your process invocation action. So once you deploy it, go back and you check your product home page. You can select your respective product family. By default, it will be shown to everyone. So if you gave any user access rights, it will be shown on your respective product family or to the respective user. That's it. So once you create that action, so it will be there here for all the product families or either for particular product families based on your access rights. So if you click that action, so this is transaction, right? Sorry. So once you go to your configuration screen, you can click the process invocation action, and whatever the process you linked in your rule, process invocation action rule. So when you click that action, it will be navigated to respective transaction page. So that's how you link your product family and process, nothing but the commerce module. So once you came to your commerce module, you need something, right? The UI you need to build. In the process, you have different kinds of UIs, like in the main document and sub document. So you can create a main document UI. You can drag your attributes, like whatever the attributes you need. You may need customer related information, or vendor related information you may need, or like everything we talk about transactions or codes, right? In terms of, so like how the requirement attributes will be. So if some user is coming to buy, so he will see this transaction screen. So when the user is going to buy, so when he created the transaction, like that transaction creation date, so when he wants this attributes, or till when he needs this service, like that service duration, or different kinds of attributes we may need, so basing on our business requirement. So like that, all the attributes you need to create and you need to dump on your main document, and whatever the parts related information you need to maintain basing on your requirement. So there will be, like, we have part, right? So in the configuration, it's just a 4 columned information: part, quantity, price, and comment. So that comment will come under, like, can justify like all the whatever the information you have rest, you can concatenate and you can project in the comment. But in commerce, if you want to like extend or like elaborate that information, you can create different number of attributes for your part. So whatever the sub document I showed you, uh, we closed that transaction, right? I'm just opening the same transaction again. Second one, I guess. I just clicked the process invocation action, existing process invocation action. Yeah, I got navigated to a commerce module, nothing but a transaction page or code page. So everything you can see is main document. So all these attributes are created at the main document level. And if you see this particular section, this line item details, this is nothing but, this is a part of main document, only this part. So whatever the attributes you want to show here, you can create it that sub document section. So here you can see part related information, right? You can see here part, net price, quantity, like that. So there will be as per the requirement, you may have list price or extended price or annual, like basing on the term how he wants to buy. If it's a single buy or if it's a term based buy, or if it's a product or if it's a service, like that. There will be like huge related to a single product, which product family it is belongs to, which product line, which model. So I'm talking technically, but in general it will be there. What is the classification of the product, what is the stream of the product, like that. So there will be a lot of information which you may need to like display according to your business requirement. So everything you need to create a line attribute at like attribute at your line level, nothing but your sub document level, and you can add it here in the layout. So it's fine. So like we dropped everything, so we had a lot of fields on the UI, nothing but the attributes on the UI. So like the logic behind the screens in configuration can be done with the help of recommendations, constraints, or hiding rules, like that. So similarly here also we need there will be some logic behind the scenes is required. So similarly once we are done with the UI, okay, I'm opening the process definition on the admin page. Nothing but I'm just opening our process. I need to navigate to our main document or sub document. Yeah, so we can see the process list. I'm just selecting some process documents. When I click documents, I can see the some main document and sub document. I'm clicking attributes here. No, I'm not clicking attributes, sorry. So I'm selecting the drop down and I'm clicking rules here. So the rules will be there in the sub document also. Now I'm opening main document. So similarly, it will be there in the sub document also. So if you want to do any changes to your sub document related attributes, so you can create those rules at that level. So now by default, so this is the rule like rules page. I'm just collapsing everything on the left side. So you can see 3 sections here, right? So if you click it, it will collapse and it will display. So like that. So these are the main 3 categories of rules which you can have uh, in the commerce for your process. So the 3 categories are constraints, hiding, and validation. Constraint, we already know how the behavior will be, and hiding also we know how the behavior will be. But validation, if you see, it's a different thing, unlike configuration, because we don't have validation in the configuration. So the use of validation rule is, I'm just selecting one rule. I just double clicked on the rule. So if you double click it, this will open up here. So similarly, if you select a constraint rule or hiding rule, you just need to double click on the rule. So then it will open up on the right side section. So I just clicked one validation rule here, double clicked. So I can see the respective information. So similar, like how the rules will be there. So yeah, similarly, we are seeing 3 sections here. So one is rule related information, second is condition, third one is action. So if you see the first section, so name, variable name, description, status, everything is same. There will be one new option is nothing but linked actions here. So the use of linked actions here is, unlike other rules, the validations are always what the validations rule are always linked to your actions. So we saw the actions at the top, right? In the so we saw the action strip, nothing but the toolbar, green color toolbar. So we can create an actions in this transaction as well. So let's go to the actions section as well. So whatever the actions we have, like if it's a configuration with the help of recommendation rule, you can set some values. But here you don't have such facility of having recommendation rule. So whenever you want to set some logic here, so you need the help of some actions. You can see some top level actions, right? So you can create some actions, like I will say, like I will create some action called update discounts or set discounts. So whatever the attributes we have, like price attributes we have, part related information. If I want to apply some discount to particular part, the list price we got, like part A, the list price is 100 and quantity is 2. But basing on the requirement, I need to give him 20% discount. How I can do that? So everything logic will be run on like on the actions level. So I can create one action. In that action I can say, so you can treat that as a recommendation rule. Like it's not the same, you can like compare it like that. So if I want to set some part, I give, if I want to give some part like 10% discount or 20% discount, so I can click that action. You can see this actions here, right? So I will create an action called update discounts or set discount. So if I click that action, so I can write my logic for if this part is present on the UI. So give 10% discount to this attribute, this part. So then it will be applied. So like that, if I want to apply any logic, we need the help of actions. So yeah, so as the action is there, I can click it. So but there will be conditions or constraints. So we should make sure the user is only able to click that action. Only this all things are configured on the UI. Like configured is nothing but all the values are selected on this UI. UI is nothing but our transaction or code. So this is our transaction, right? For example, there will be a discount field. Okay, we will allow user to like enter like it won't be the use case. So user may enter, he need 10% discount. He may enter like how much discount he want. So he will enter 10% discount. So we'll check for the product. if that particular discount is valid for that product, if it's allowable, so we will he will enter 10% and he will click set discount or populate discount or apply discounts. So if it's legal, so we will apply that, like this will be run. So what if we shouldn't give that discount to that particular part? For example, there is particular category of parts, so like some automobile related parts are there. So if it's the part is related to automobile category, so we shouldn't give discounts at all. So when user applies that discounts, so we should tell him, so that action, that apply discounts action should not perform, right? That logic should not run. Whatever the logic is there on apply discounts, we should not run. For example, you can treat this first action as apply discounts. User enters 10% discount and he will click. We shouldn't run that. So to stop that action to perform, so we need the help of this validation rules. So that's why if you see the validation rule section, so you have this actions field. So if this rule logic, if this rule condition gets satisfied, our condition is like, I'm selecting simple. Okay, I'm adding row. I will give some attribute, nothing but my part, and operator I'll give, and value I'll give. So for this part, the discount shouldn't be greater than 10%. I will write the line like that. So then when this condition met, whatever the action I link here, so you can see the list of actions here, right? For example, you can treat this, there is some action already selected, update opportunity. So you can treat that as update discounts action. So when this condition is met, when after entering this condition or after entering this discount, if user clicks update discount, I will say this is not a valid scenario. How I can say is, I will enter the in the action part, I need to enter the respective attribute name. My respective attribute will be my part. So if the part is, I can say A101 is my part. If the part is equals to 101, as I already entered some condition, I will write message, you can't apply discount more than 10% to this particular part, like that. Whatever the message you need, so you need to write. So whenever user clicks that action, when this condition meets on your UI, so this message will throw, like comes up like a warning or error. So you can't apply this discount for this particular part. So like that. So that's how the validation rule will help us to stop user to perform that some action. Like if there are any not legal values on the UI, so we can tell user you can't perform this action because of this value, like that we can say. So that is the use of validation rule, unlike other rules. um uh, like uh, can I proceed with the actions? Like are you guys good? Hello?
Hey, Karthik.
Yes, Karthik, we
Yeah,
good.
okay. So let's go to the admin page again. I'm navigating to my process, some process, opening the documents. So from the documents, in the drop down, I'm selecting actions. You can see here, just opening the list of actions. So there might be some list of, okay, there are many. So like this, we can create, we can click add and we can create a respective action. And before that actions, like we can simply click, we can simply create an action. But in the action also, there will be different types of actions we can find. So you can ignore some type of actions for now, but there will be like a basic actions which you may need for must. So I'm giving some test action name. So if you see the action type drop down here, so there will be different types of actions. You can see these are all the types of actions what we can create here. So like the main actions we need like will be, so we need to try modify, we need to try print action, email, and we can try copy line items, submit, So like that, there will be like a few actions like which will be like basically we need to build a basic project. So these are all we need to concentrate. The modify action is nothing but, so we just like discussed it, right? So there are a lot of fields on the UI, so there should be some logic to apply to set some values or to do something, the logic behind the screen. So for that you need to select modify related action, and there will be print action here. So this print action will be like, so as we discussed, there will be three modules, right, of our tool: configuration, commerce, and quotation, nothing but the document related part, the third part, the documentation part. So if you want to see the whole summary of your transactions, either configuration or transaction, in a document kind of format, so you need to see some file, right? You need to see some file, so that whatever the document is there, so the document will be containing all that configuration parts related information, commerce related information, everything. So we need to see that document. To see the document, we need the help of this print action. This print type of action, when we click it, it has ability to show some PDF kind of output in the tool that we need to design. So it's just an action which is capable of like supporting that facility. That's it. And the other type of action you can see is email. So the email type of action we need, because so there will be like particular scenarios in the tool. So when this particular discount is applied, so you can't give access to like you can't give that particular discount in like instantly. So there will be like requirements or situations like if the user enters some particular discount, so you may need to check your other persons in your company, like other superior persons or something like that. You need some approval to give that discount. So in such cases, so with the help of this email type of action, so we can trigger an email. So this particular user or this particular transaction details are there. So for this much of discount is needed. So we can ask them whether this discount is like we can give or not, we can proceed or not. We can ask him by sending an email to him. So we can embed the transaction related details in it. We'll enter the discount related reason. This is the requirement, we can give or not, we can ask him, and basing on the reply we will proceed, like how the email will be there. So like that. And you can see copy line items. So this we can discuss like further, like, so I said you line item layout, right? So there will be that line item part, that line item section or sub document section. So we'll be having the multiple parts related information, however, like whatever all we sent from commerce configuration to commerce, so it will have that multiple information, lines information. So if you want copy line items, so you can select any line or any row, any part related information you want, you can select it and you can copy it, so it will replicate the same information. And submit is a type of action. So we discussed here, right? So email should be sent to the particular user or particular person, so to send to let him know, so this is the requirement, and to pass the information to that particular person, this is the requirement, this is the approval, or this is the condition discount we can give or not, we need to check. So to like handle those approvals or to handle those decisions, we need a concept called, we have a concept called approvals in our tool. So that approvals concept is everything is built under the submit kind of action. So those whatever the approvals are there, so we can give this particular discount or not, either we can sell this particular product or not to this particular customer. So everything there will be like a lot of decision making things in this transaction area, like in the commerce module. So everything can be like handled with the help of approvals. If we need any like decision making things, so we can handle with the help of approval section. So that whole approval section will be built under this submit action. So when we talk about the submit action, so we can go to that. And if you see the submit action also, this is not unlike other actions, this is not a single action. When we create a submit action, so there will be a set of actions will be created automatically under it. Like there are approve, reject, revise, or delete or something like that. There will be like 4 or 5 set of actions under it. So when we talk about submit action, so we can see that what are all the set of actions will be under it, and what is the approvals scenario will be there under it. So we can see that. So these are the different type of actions will be there. So we can select the type of action and we can click add. So once we are done with the action, so we can like add like similar like how we add fields, nothing but attributes to the UI. So we can add our actions to the UI, but it should be there in the action strip. So we need the help of action strip, nothing but your toolbar. So in that we can drop or dump your action. So once you are done with the layout, so you can deploy your respective process. So everything is done. So go to your product family and make sure as we don't give any access right now, so it will be seen that whatever the process unification action you create, it will be seen on the top. So you can see that. So once you click it, so in the process unification rule, you must be linking, you should link your process, right? So whatever the test process or whatever the process you create, you should mention this is the process it needs to navigate. So from the product family, if you click that process unification action, it will move to the respective process. Then only you can see your UI. So whatever the attributes you created on the main document or sub document or whatever the actions you created, everything you can see on that screen. That screen is nothing but transaction or code. Like this is how it will look. So this is some transaction or code. So they created some main documents, sub documents, everything like that. So when you create your process unification action, it should be navigated to a page similar to this, basing on what attributes you create or what fields, what actions you create. So you have any questions or doubts?